Ready? Liz,
Yes.
there's a recording in progress.
Oh my, I'm glad she lets us know.
I know. And look at all these stickies. Ta-da! VSC. VSC.
Good morning. Welcome to the most dangerous show of the week.
Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow, the VSC edition. Woo! Hello. We got packages yesterday. So, and that doesn't make Liz happy, but it makes me happy. We just have to figure out where to put stuff. So we're going to put things on sale so you can buy stuff so we don't have to put it away. How about that? Hi. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow,
The VSC edition.
I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. And the fog is burnt off, I think, for today, but mild and maybe going to be rainy, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
Don't sound so excited, Liz. She just loves her job, right?
Wednesday.
It's
I
Wednesday.
do love my
It's
job.
hump day, but it's only
It's
the
like
second
our
day of the
Tuesday.
week. Yes. So like, I feel like Thursday is our hump day. So because we go all the way to Saturday.
Yeah.
But you know, it's the second day of the week for us. That counts for something, right? Anyway, so I gotta tuck this better. Wait, where's the other? Liz was like, why don't you wear your fall river today to show off the yarn we're talking about? So some people already know what yarn we're going to talk about, and other people are like, what? Huh?
It just looks pretty.
It's yes, it's
and it's been a while since you've worn it.
Yes, and I'm going to show it off. This is crochet, and it's wonderful, and it takes one of the colors of the yarn we're talking about today, and it impressed our yarn rep even at the time, who'd never seen Alice Springs colorway look like this. I think it looks gorgeous. So we're talking about a slow color change yarn today. Yay! We're talking about Queensland Perth. And we love it, and we got new colors of it. And there's some colors that we love and are running out of, and they're back ordered. And that's a problem. So do with that what you will. Anyway. So Queensland Perth is like, it's really pretty stuff. It does a slow color fade. It's very, it's one of our Spincycle adjacent yarns in the shop. If you know Spincycle, if there are patterns calling for Spincycle, which is a very popular yarn from the West Coast, and Andrea Mowry uses it, Stephen West uses it, a lot of people use it. Spincycle comes in like what, fingering and sport and worsted.
Yeah, and their worsted is kind of a DK.
Yeah. So we use the Feederbrook Entropy DK when it calls for sometimes worsted and sport. It depends which way we want to go with it. That is not on sale this week. Although we're full up on some colors and we're about to run out of others. What is on sale is our fingering. So when it calls for a sport, a light sport or a fingering weight, we will often use this yarn or Cascade Heritage Wave. This yarn usually has more colors involved in it. Most of the Cascade Heritage Wave has a pretty subtle color change. Like the Papillon I have in the front window that looks like a monarch butterfly because it's all yellows and reds and oranges. That's Heritage Wave, not on sale this week. Only Perth. It's not just because I mention it on this show. It's the ones that end up in the product of the week category in the online shop. And that's the only one the code will work on if you're buying online. Anyway. So this is I'm gonna let Liz read stats and then we'll show off. There's so many things I've been making with this yarn. We'll show it all off. Okay.
Queensland Perth is 80% superwash wool and 20% nylon. If you're looking for socks that'll hold up slightly better than merino,
but
roving gangs of sheep.
I got distracted. It's still very soft. It's a little bit what we might call crunchier, or maybe might feel a little different on your skin than straight up merino though. It's roving gangs of sheep that can go in the washing machine rather than merino, which is super soft. And the Feederbrook is Blueface Leicester, different sheeps. Like when you have a streamlined sheep that is known for its soft wool, it's going to feel different than roving gangs of sheep all mixed together. So this feels a little different than merino, just a heads up, but it is machine washable and is probably going to have more durable socks.
Yes. Tighter needles, not merino wool.
And it will look really cool as socks. You'll have
Yes.
these fadey socks. They may not match because they may fade at different points. It's got the barber pole effect, we like to call it, where you have 2 plies of different colors and those plies are changing colors. And then depending on how it's plied together, those individual plies, it will do different things. Same overall color effect.
I can actually tell you how one's ply is got short color changes and the other ply has really long color changes.
I've never looked at it closely enough to see that.
It's fractal spinning. I've played with it.
Okay, you've used that term before and I'm just like,
Yeah. It's so you can get that whole.
But it's weird because sometimes some of the balls like the colors are very similar in there, but then they get different. See how
You take a short set of color changes and you spin them together, just chunk.
Okay.
And then you take long colorway and you spin those chunk. And then
chunk.
Yeah.
Chunk.
And
That's
when
the
you-
long one.
when you ply them together,
I'm trying to focus on her and pay attention.
when you ply them together, you'll have that quick little color change on one ply, and then you'll have these long color changes on the other ply, so it looks like it waves through
She
color.
makes it sound so much cooler. Like you should get this yarn. It's really
harder
awesome.
to do
Does
than
Feederbrook do the
sounds,
same
but
thing?
yes.
Like small and wow.
yeah, it's fractal spinning.
See, I've never paid attention. Someone should just spend time looking at it and tell us.
You can look at it and I'll show you later. We'll
I'm about to
look
get an
later.
education on this. So that's really
We
cool.
probably won't, but continuing on with stats.
Oh yeah, sorry, I interrupted the stats. I have things to say.
I know. You get 437 yards for 100 grams. So typical sock.
It's pretty typical.
It's 400 meters, 437,
Well, the 400 meter part is the very, very typical. Yes.
It is machine washable, lay flat to dry, but you really don't
To
wanna
preserve the life of
throw,
anything
yeah.
you hand knit, try not to put it in the dryer unless you're instructed to do so.
They are recommending a US 1 to 3 needles, which
Especially
is
if you want to
a
make socks.
2.5 to 3.25 millimeter.
Remember, that's just a recommendation though. You can go bigger,
Yes, you can.
especially for shawls and things. want to.
And for crochet, they're recommending a B to an E hook. You can go bigger. I did the Fall River, I think recommends an E hook, and I did it on an H.
I think I did it on an E or a D because I'm a loose crocheter. Look at that pretty pattern. Look at that.
So pretty.
This is one of the colorways that is in some ways, some might consider it a more boring colorway. It's called Alice Springs. Fall River is the name of the shawl. My coffee is still hitting it.
I don't like Alice Springs knit. Like when I look at it knit up, it might be different if you break it up like in a Papillon, or
I can show you how I'm breaking it up in my Quadrangle Spires, and that's kind of making it look cool.
it looks,
But
but if you
straight
just
fade, it's
straight
kinda like-
fade, it's kind of like, huh?
It's almost like a vintage Christmassy thing.
Yeah.
It's Alice Springs has like a teal, blue, green, and red, and kind of yellows and
There's a
like there's
khaki
almost
gray.
like a khaki gray and an aqua and stuff in it. And so since we're doing Alice Springs right now, this is how it crochets up. It's kind of gorgeous. It's one of the reasons sometimes it's hard for us to keep it in stock. And then I'm doing my first Stephen West that I've ever done. Isn't everybody proud of me? Has two it has one color of the Heritage Wave by Cascade and two colors of Perth in it. And the only Alice Springs I've used so far is this one right here. And you can see it's heading towards that green aqua down. It's this one triangle. All the others are other colors, which I'll get to later as we talk about other colors. But it's it started like just heading out of that aqua or that tealy green thing into the aqua and into the red. So this panel, what's not black, is the Alice Springs, and it's gonna show up on the sides a whole lot too. But I probably won't knit enough on this for you to really see this week. I'll come back to this in a second because there's another color on it. But And the colors show up so much better on my Instagram feed, the pictures I take there. So go check them out there.
It
But
kind of
that's-
looks really dark on
This
one.
is, it does, especially when we're filming, and I will lighten this just a bit, but it probably still will look dark. So Alice Springs is right here. So yes. And see, this is the kit for the Quadrangle Spires that we have in the shop. And it's all glary because of the light. But see, Heritage, Perth, a whole lot of Heritage wave up there. That's the Alice Springs right there. So I'm going to switch to the other color that's in this. Why not? And then we can talk about.
Well, and we got new
Well, here's the fun thing.
cakes
Okay.
of it. They
Yeah.
changed how
And
they
we were
wind.
like, is this still the same yarn? But they're caking it differently. So some of the cakes are going to look like this, where they have like rounded edges and they spiral in like that. And let me show you what this looks like knit up. I'm very excited because the black is making it pop and sing. This is Wineglass Bay. And Wineglass Bay is more, it's kind of jewel tones, but not super bright when they're in the cake. Like they'll kind of look bright. We've got like a fuchsia and some light blues and some yellows and greens and some darker blues. And it's just like, what? And let me show you how it looks. The two pieces so far of this that are Wineglass Bay, you wouldn't know they're the same yarn because it is the opposite triangle to where Alice Springs is. It's this one. And this triangle has all the straight up blues and a little bit of tealies and yellows in this square right here. And then the Wineglass Bay is also the edging I'm doing up here, which is very jewel toned and is like, it's hard to see on this, on what we're looking at as we film, but it is banging, popping bright. And so this has the fuchsias and the tealy blues, but this over here and this over here is the same color.
And these are the two different wind-up.
Yeah, that's the same color. If you look, you can tell the same colors are there. But the earlier caking of it, which we only have one left and it's in a kit. So don't worry, if you buy it fresh, it's going to be the second caking because we try to make sure, or if if all else fails, we try to make sure you have the same dye lot. These will be different dye lots, but you can see the same colors in them. You can see the same fuchsias and yellows and like it's the same yarn and it's going to do the same thing, but it's hard looking at it like this to be like, yeah, it's going to do the same thing. I looked at it and was like, what? It should do the same thing.
Out a bit.
A little bit. And then we calmed down.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and we ordered 2 bags. We got one in, the other one's coming. So buy it up. It's coming.
I should mention that retail price on these is $14.75.
We always forget that, don't we? But it's 15% off with the code product of the week at checkout once I put it in that. So pick another color. Let's
pick another color. Well,
let's hold off on the new ones just yet. Let's do the old ones. We have a lot of colors this because we think it's gorgeous.
We have Kings Canyon.
Expanded the palette. Yes. Oh, I have another hat. Oh, I have a hat in that. Hang on. Go ahead.
Which is rainbowy. I mean,
we have 2 rainbowies, but they're a little different, but it's hard to tell they're different, but they're different.
Kings Canyon and Rainbow Reef are both rainbowy, but one looks softer than the other, kind of. I don't know.
Like the Rainbow Reef has more orangey bright in it. And I feel like Kings Canyon has more purpley colors in it. They're like different parts of the rainbow. Like this hat is Kings Canyon with a really, really dark charcoal. And people see this and they want to make this exactly. And we don't have the super dark charcoal anymore. I would have to order more because that's Serrata. That's a yarn that we're not really ordering more in. But this has orange in it. There is orange in Kings Canyon.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Rainbow Reef is a more intense red orange.
Yeah.
Like this one's lighter. But Kings Canyon is in this hat. And Rainbow Reef is what I made my first Papillon out of. So here's the Rainbow Reef. And people will look at that, and especially older dye lots of this, and be like, can't be the same yarn. It is.
It is.
It is. So, here, let me try. Rainbow Reef and Kings Canyon will look very similar. But I want to say the yellows are not as warm.
They're
Warmer colors in here, cooler colors in here.
there isn't as much yellow in Rainbow Reef.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's bits of yellow.
There's a little bit, but again, it's very warm, whereas this one is more of a cool yellow and orange, green yellow. So I don't know if you can tell the difference, but so we have 2 rainbows, which is kind of cool.
I think we've already done these. Oh no, we haven't.
And
Tasmanian.
This is so gorgeous stained glass window. We have these kits, by the way. Those are not on sale this week, but you could build your own. We have like 4 skeins, maybe tops of Rainbow Reef right now, and I've ordered more, and they're super back ordered. And so if you want to build your own Papillon kit, I don't know if it's going to save you money with the 15% off because these are a little bit marked down anyway, but they could. Get it now before it's gone.
Tasmanian Bay and Yarra River are both
Dark and broody.
Dark and broody.
I have 2 things I'm making with Tasmanian Bay. I really should have something going with Yarra River. I think I do have something going, but it like the gleam shawl like long time ago.
I
don't even know where it
probably
is.
I get these 2 mixed up all the time, and yes, they look black in the thing. Tasmanian Bay has little bits of brown.
Tasmanian Bay has warmer chunks in it.
Yeah.
Yarra River is all dark and broody and purple and blue and a little bit aqua and green.
Yes.
Like a Papillon out of this with a white contrast would be super gorgeous. The Yarra River, I don't know why, like I keep being drawn to that. I know I'm making me a gleam out of the Yarra River too. And that one's missing somewhere anyway.
They're both dark and broody.
The Alaska hat, it's more because the colors went. So the sparkly yellow that's in this, it's like a mustard yellow. I wanted the Tasmanian Bay is the closest we have to, like, the Alaska hat was supposed to be the Aurora Borealis in the background of the color changing part of the hat. And the closest we have to that really is the Tasmanian Bay. The Yarra
River will work.
The Yarra River will work. It won't be as bright as you think of when you think of the Aurora Borealis. That's got some like neon green in it. It will look like a muted version of the Aurora Borealis if you want to make something out of it. But Tasmanian Bay has the warmer tones. It looks super cute. It is what, if y'all have been following us, it is what I am using for, and this is in the middle of a row, so it makes it harder to show off, but that's okay. It's what I'm doing in my room with the view. Like, it's like a dark broody rainbow. Especially with the contrast of the lighter color here. That is Tasmanian Bay. It's got rainbow colors in it. It's like the green and the browny orangey stuff. It looks like a rainbow, but it's a super dark and broody rainbow with the contrast. By itself, like this, I don't get as much of a rainbow feel from it just by itself, but with the contrast, a contrast yarn stretching it out a little bit, it's kind of cool. Like, I would love to make a Papillon kit with every single one of these colors, but then we'd be using up the colors and you wouldn't be able to buy them not in a kit.
She would.
So I probably won't get around to making kits with all of these today, but I'd like to.
She's going to try.
Yeah. And then photographing them and putting them up online is a problem.
It's going to be a problem, but she's going to try.
But I have hopes and dreams.
The last 2 old colors. The colors we've had forever.
Not the new ones that got released this year.
Swan Hill is all greens.
And a little bit of yellows.
And a little bit of yellows. It kind of mixes everything.
A little bit of khakis.
Yeah.
It's like, if you like greens, color changing greens, oh my gosh, perfect.
And then I have to laugh about
we only have
this
a few of these, by the way, too.
Because as much as Rebecca is drawn to Tasmanian Bay lately,
yeah,
this is the one she was going to make a sweater out of.
I wasn't.
Shout
it was
out
gonna
to
be
Jeff,
beautiful.
because without Jeff commenting on episode 37, I'd never remember that.
I
would have dropped it and just let it go. But no.
There was a color change, like color work yoke, right? And I was going to do that with navy. That has like, it's got It's got tan, brown, and some blues and some purpley like mauves. And it's, if you like a neutral, a darker neutral, it's gorgeous. And I was going to showcase that in a sweater. I have way too many sweaters going right now. People are like,
It was her next project on episode 37.
oh my gosh, knit night last night. Oh, that episode 37 can kiss my butt. Because that was a long time ago. I
know,
so much
it's
has
kinda funny.
changed since then. She thinks it's hilarious. Anyway, maybe I'll make, but see, a new colorwork sweater probably will come out, and I'll be more. People last night on knit night, what I was gonna say, because we said it was a slow day at the shop. I mean, it was busy day in terms of things we needed to do, but a slow shopper day. And usually that means we are left alone in the yarn shop and we start new projects, but we both have so much going on right now project wise. That did not happen.
Nope.
Although looking at all these, I want to use some of them in a project.
She will probably pick out a project today or tomorrow if no one shows
So anyone local, please show up so I don't start another project. Well, I need to. Okay, here's my theory, because I haven't started a project in a while. I don't think.
No, not really. Well, no. It's
Here's
been a
what
few
I was
weeks.
mulling over this morning, because I'm about to finish a shawl, right?
Mhm.
Is finishing a project means maybe it gives me permission to start one new thing and pull another super old thing from timeout. Like they need to go into the rotation.
Mhm.
I think it's a good idea. She's giving me snark. So
I wouldn't do that.
wouldn't you all like to see me start something new? If you have votes, go ahead and let me know, and I probably will pick something else entirely. So
She is on this starting a new kick because we got 4 new colors.
oh yes, we should talk about the.
Well, one
We
of
got
them
3
isn't
new
new.
colors.
It's just
We got
wound
3 new
differently.
colors.
So
The wine glass bay came in.
Wine glass bay.
They're
it's
all going to start coming in
all kind of
wound
pretty.
differently. We got 3 new colors because if you might have noticed that most of what we just showed you is dark and broody. And we love the dark and broody, but it's a limited color palette if you don't like dark and broody.
So we have Royal Botanic Gardens, and it is creams and muted greens and muted pinks
And like
in
off-white.
several shades. Yeah.
And there's one skein, it's probably over on the table or something. There's one, oh, you've got the skein. Like there's this poppin' pink that you don't know if and when it's going to happen. Like it's either buried in there.
It's on this side.
Or
It's not on this side.
Like this is a brighter pink right here. But if you just looked at the top, like the pictures I've taken to put online are a little misleading with this because you don't, it's hard to see the way it's wound, all the colors. Like there's some brighter pink in here.
Yeah.
And like yours has like boom
on
and
one side
all,
and then
and not all skeins might have the boom in them. And we have no guarantee you're going to get the boom. You can request it, but if we've sold out of almost everything, we can't give you a boom. But you know, I'm fascinated. Like if you go on Knitting Fever's website, they're the distributor of all these yarns. You will see patches of these of the Perth knit up, and it gives you kind of an idea. It might not be true color, but it'll give you more of an idea of how this will knit up. And I want to make Papillons with all of these, by the way, Papillon kits, because why not? But we'll talk about that in a second. The kits are not on sale, by the way. They're already a really good price. They're like just under $40, and that's a really good price for 3 skeins of yarn. So okay, good.
The next color we got in is Lake Gardner.
Sure.
Gaird.
Queensland.
NER.
It's Australia. That's a place in Australia, I'm assuming. And I'm sorry if anyone's watching us who knows Australia really well and is like, I've never been there. This is the one that made me go, ooh, like my yarn rep sent me some and I went, ooh, this will be fun because it's light and kind of neutral. And ooh, we don't have any light neutral. Like, look at these 2. Look how pretty.
It is so hard to describe. Like it's not, it's got a blue tinge to it or
kind
a
of
bluey
a
green.
Bluey green. It's off whites with the bluey greens, and there's some gray in there. And there's even, but some of it looks like it's gonna be a little pink, like very, very soft pink. Like this is gonna have some fuchsia-y, not like flaming fuchsia, but this is going to have some stronger pinks to it. This is going to have just a little like
the palest. It's almost like the Perth equivalent to Heavenly with the pink and the just the
it's funny because it's funny because a lot of these colors, it's hard to describe any of these as being like stereotypically macho. Like all of them have bright colors or soft, more feminine feeling colors according to our like stereotypical modern definitions of these. But they're all going to be beautiful because let's not stick to stereotypes. So, anyway, this is lovely and more neutral and brighter.
You know what else it reminds me of?
Yes.
Dovestone, where it's got that green tinge to it.
That kind of like
it's a
mossy
neutral,
lichen.
but it's got this just very pale.
I almost want to say moldy, but not quite.
Not like.
No, it's fresher than that.
Yeah.
So the last color we have, which I haven't picked out a contrast for a Papillon yet, is it's like this is my first rodeo or something. She's pointing out where my skein is to look. It's right here. Yeah. We rib each other about this. I wasn't sure. There's something about the knitted swatch of this that I was like, this is going to be so much different than the other stuff we have. And it is and it isn't. But, what's it called?
Great Barrier Reef.
Thank you.
So we have what? How many? We have Rainbow Reef. We have Tasmanian Bay. We've got lots of
bays and reefs and rainbows and
yeah.
Well, because there's lots of reefs around Australia, right? So the Great Barrier Reef, there's just this smorgasbord of colors, but it's different than Rainbow Reef. Like I know that might not look that different, but I promise you, it's different.
I want to say that where Kings Canyon is more of the yellow purplies of the rainbow than the Rainbow Reef, this has got more pinks.
Yeah, this has some, like the skein you have has more pop and pinks. This has like oranges and reds, but not red. It's more the fuchsia side of red. And there's some muted purples in here. And I want to say like it had some, like it's more orangey overall, like than, well, it's different.
Okay.
This has more, okay.
Rainbow Reef with the orange. Great Barrier Reef.
This has more of the
pink.
Yeah, it's orangey pink, and I think the yellows are more of, it's like kind of in between the two in a way, but it's all lighter because it's got the cooler yellows. It's not as orangey yellows, but it's got some orange in it, and it's got some fuchsia and some purple. Like it's muted of the a lot of the warmer tones of the rainbow, whereas the Wineglass Bay is muted and a lot of the cooler tones of the rainbow, but there's overlap, and it's just so hard to describe. You should just get some and try it and let us know what you think. So before we talk about, because we're going to throw Notion in just for fun, but right now what we're leaning towards for a Papillon is the Lake Gardner really, really light main color changey with a bangin' poppin' the violet indigo. There's no way that this color can truly be captured on film. I'm looking at the camera right now and it looks very dark and broody. It is a very intense bright purple, dark, bright purple. So super saturated with the neutral. I think it's going to be gorgeous. So look for a kit of that. If you don't see a kit of that and you're like, ooh, that sounds fascinating, buy the pieces yourself or contact the shop to get it as a kit. If it's rung up as well, if we have to assemble it ourselves, we could give you the discount price on these skeins and the full price on this. We'll just see what the math works out to. You let us know if you want us to try the discount and see if it saves you anything. This one we were looking at all, and Liz was like green, maybe a really dark green, but then we found that the cedar green,
actually it sings.
It's like an olivey green kind of. It's gonna be, that's I think gonna be amazing. So we're thinking about that. Maybe a navy with this rather than a black. I don't think I would. I mean, the black will make anything sing and pop. Like take a look at my Quadrangle Spires. But I'm thinking something other than black with this.
Navy would work
really, I think
well.
navy might be really, really cool with this. We might make like one kit with each of our new colors and just see. It only uses up some. But if it looks like one of these colors is going to be super popular and we can't get more of, we'll break up a kit. We'll see. I don't know. I always go back and forth on that. Okay, so I didn't want to just do Perth, although Perth by itself is just simply amazing. Liz kind of went eeny, meeny, miny, mo in a way, and we decided to put our Faux Fur Pompoms on sale. And they have a little snap on the back. So you sew this part of the snap onto your hat, and then you have faux fur. And we have these in natural colors, and we have them in bright, funky colors. Apparently there's new neon colors. We have not ordered them yet. But Liz is holding up the more neutral, natural colors. They retail for $11.25 regular price. I think we've put them on sale recently, but it was like, what fun, because you can make an Alaska hat and you could put a pom-pom on top, right?
So natural colors.
Or just make what's called the sock head hat. Just get one skein of this stuff is enough for a super slouchy hat, and you could put a pom-pom on the end if you want. Those are our fun, mostly kind of like, they're like muted. I might go look online today and see what kind of funky colors they have, because maybe, oh, that's one that's just a card. Maybe you want a funky color. I don't know if they'd come in fast enough for them to be on sale this week, but it might be worth looking into. Liz and I will look at it and discuss, and she'll be like, no, we don't have space. And I'll go, but look how pretty. And no, we don't, but look how pretty. And we'll see.
We'll probably wind up with them. So
sometimes they ship them fast and sometimes not. If we can order them today and they come in before next Wednesday, or maybe, if they come in just past the due date, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. I could always keep them on sale for another week. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen.
Guarantees.
No guarantees. But the surface fur fabric is 100% acrylic, and the filling is polyurethane foam. So it is all synthetic material. No rabbits or other things with fur were harmed in the production of these pom-poms. So we can get actual rabbit fur pom-poms. That kind of creeps me out.
They're tiny.
They're teeny tiny though. I like these big ones. They're tribbles. They're fantastic. We were talking about
we had a couple in the shop,
Comic-Con outfits with these.
Yeah. But we had a couple in the shop who was walking, the husband was walking around, and he's like, you might be too young, but tribbles from Star Trek. And I'm like, oh no,
we're not
tribbles from Star Trek.
Tribbles. So I mean, they've also used the tribbles have come up in more recent Star Trek anyway. But a diehard Star Trek fan, even if you're not a fan of the original series, if you're more a fan of the later series, you still know about tribbles.
We should not have them all in a basket.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, okay. So that is our VSC episode for today. And I have to go put all these things back where they belong. But we have so many things in the shop that use Perth, because it's such a fun yarn. And why I figured, why not add to our color palette? So the Fall River takes, like, if you're doing it regular size, takes like a skein and a half. I think I have some kits listed online. Again, the kits are not on sale, but you could just buy 2 skeins of any color you want and you'll have more than enough yarn. You can make it bigger. The Fall River is one that you can just continue to repeat, but the repeats start eating up yarn. So I don't know if 2 skeins gives you the ability to add a whole nother repeat of the pattern on or not, but you can do that, and you can test that for us and let us know. So 2 skeins of whatever color you want for the Fall River, 2 skeins plus a contrast for a regular size Papillon can be fantastic. And then you let the color changing do all the work for you.
You could also,
instead of switching colors for the main color,
you could use it for any 1 skein or 2 skein projects, like
a 1 skein shawl. I have so many suggestions for y'all if you want to do a 1 skein shawl. The storm shawl, like, I've done so many 1 skeiners lately, and it would be gorgeous in a slowly color fading yarn. It would be wonderful. It makes me want to do one. But I need to, if I finish my Viking woman, maybe that's what, but one skein with a nice contrast works for any two skein, two color, one skein of each. We've been talking about putting together kits for that. So, we'll see what we get around to, because not all that's happening today, but it's only on sale if you buy them on your own recognizance. Don't buy them in a kit. Buy them and build your own kit and save 15%. That's all I got.
Yeah.
So yeah. Tomorrow's Dear Becky and Lizzy. I don't think we have questions.
So far we do not,
Which
but
means we get to talk about whatever the heck we want. If you want to give us some focus, email.
Liz at sundragonartandfiber.com.
I cut you off from your butt. Were you going to say something?
The time is still young. They can email questions and,
Email us questions. What are you dying to know about that relates to us and crafting? Super personal questions just about us probably won't get answered. But if you can find some way to relate it to crafting, we might talk about it. So, yes.
Yarn, knitting, crochet.
It's a thing.
That's kind of as far as our.
That's kind of my entire universe. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. I've put together at least one new night shift kit you should take a peek at. I'm always trying to put together more and more kits. People are actually buying them. It's weird. And then I have to make more. So let us know what you would like a kit of. And come to knit night. This Friday is our last 3-hour knit night. Starting next week, the evening knit nights, we're going to try only 2 hours. I know that makes some people really sad, but I'm hoping it makes me not be suffering from exhaustion. Because I love hanging out with y'all, but after a busy workday, doing it twice a week, I can't seem to catch up on my sleep. Although the past 2 knit nights, I've forced myself to only clean up the kitchen and go to bed when it's over, and I'm almost feeling human this morning. I don't know how long it's going to last.
It gets harder and harder, especially with normal, like we're not still normal business. Pre-pandemic times.
Trevor Noah's new touring, he's calling it the new abnormal. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's not the new normal, it's the new abnormal. But now we've got you guys, which we love, filming this 3 days a week. We have the online shop that was easier to maintain when we weren't letting so many people in, and we're letting people in with masks. And we're still doing virtual knit night twice a week. And this Sunday, we're doing our once a month 1 to 5 Eastern Standard Time dual platform virtual sit and stitch, and it's just the two of us. So again, the Sunday thing, Facebook Live or Zoom with the shop phone number
828-877-3550. I almost forgot.
Oh no, it's like seeing the word was too many times. It looks spelled wrong. Yeah. So join us and support us, and hopefully we will not pass out from exhaustion.
Rebecca will be on Facebook for Facebook Live and Zoom, and I will be on Zoom.
If you want to see us and see everybody else who comes on Zoom, go to Zoom. If you want to hear the Zoom people and only stare at me for 4 hours, or whatever part of that you want to be a part of the event, then check us out on Facebook Live. Facebook Live can sometimes be easier depending on your internet capabilities and your comfort level in joining new technology and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's just me and my projects, but mostly just me and maybe my cat. But you get to hear all the lovely stuff happening on Zoom. Anyway,
one of these days we might have to just do it together.
Oh, like sit here and do it? I mean, we're reaching the point, or do you think I was going to say, I think my internet's better.
Your internet's better.
My internet's pretty darn good at the house. Yeah. So we could see how good it is on the back porch or something. Yeah. Maybe you can.
I'd be okay with that.
We have to discuss it.
We're together an awful lot.
Yeah.
And we don't go many other places.
Well, and there's places in my house where I usually film that aren't necessarily places you want to be. So there's height things involved and railings, and it's not like she can't come over to my house. Anyway,
I have issues.
I don't think we want to get all those issues aired right now on this, but anyway, Bye, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Yes. Anything else?
No. Okay. Stay tuned.
It's not a very
for-
dramatic wrap up and sign off, but
Stay
ahead.
tuned for Adventures of Liz and Rebecca tomorrow and then Tuesday.
We'll see what I get done to talk
yeah.
about tomorrow if we're just talking about our stuff. We'll come up with something to talk about. We'll ramble for a good hour and y'all like it because apparently you do. And we like talking about yarn and things. So it works out well. All right. We got to go open the shop.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all. I got to go hang this
Ooh,
back up.
Yes.
I'm paying attention to the time because somebody has to.
Didn't wear my watch.
I was going to say you didn't wear it again.
No,
she's
I
got
wore it
today.
again because I would lose my mind. But you know, watches are evil.
Watches just give you tan lines. It's fine. Bye.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, let's keep arguing while we turn off the camera.
Okay.